We don't want war, but if we have to, we go. Civil war. So be it.
De wereld moet zien wat hier nu gebeurt in zo'n klein landje.
Yeah, the world has to see. We have a very little country. We are only a spot on the whole world. But look at what we are doing.
Targeting supermarkets and airports. They've even gone as far as spraying animal waste in a town hall. These protests are in response to the Dutch government's plan to slash emissions of nitrous oxide and ammonia by 50% by 2030. These are harmful greenhouse gases accelerating the climate crisis. This would require farmers to reduce livestock herds by 30% as the primary source of these gases is animal waste. Do you agree with the Dutch government's decision? Let us know in the comments.
What we have to do moving forward is understand something very important. We are not the resistance. And we have to stop making believe we are, because what you resist persists. The reason why we got louder is because they resisted us. We don't resist them back, and there's no reason to try and take down the current system. Where we have to start allocating our energy is one very simple place, and it's called building a new system. The more time we spend trying to destroy the current system, the stronger we make that system. There's no need to acknowledge darkness. There's a need to create more light, and that's what we have to do.
De politieagent zegt tegen de andere agent, dit hou je niet meer tegen. Nee, dat hou je zeker niet meer tegen.
Niet alleen het kabinet, die hele grapzuilen. Heel Den Haag moet weg.
Nee, laat het tegen.
Het kabinet, asociaal, allemaal naar crimineel.
No farmers, no food.
Some of the largest protests in the Netherlands' history is happening right now. Farmers have taken their tractors and other farm equipment to the streets, literally. They're blockading the roads, targeting supermarkets and airports. They've even gone as far as spraying animal waste in a town hall. These protests are in response to the Dutch government's plan to slash emissions of nitrous oxide and ammonia by 50% by 2030. These are harmful greenhouse gases accelerating the climate crisis. This would require farmers to reduce livestock herds by 30% as the primary source of these gases is animal waste.
Senator Joseph Biden dropped out of the hunt today, saying the disclosures about his plagiarism in law school and his exaggerations about his academic record made it impossible for him to continue.
I do it with incredible reluctance, and it makes me angry. I'm angry with myself for having been put myself in the position of having to make this choice.
The Delaware Democrat is the second candidate to be forced from the race by questions of character and integrity.
Anyway, thank you, guys.
Should Americans be worried about inflation, sir?
Well, I really doubt that we're going to see an inflationary cycle
And by the way, talk of inflation, the overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down. I don't know anybody, including Larry Summers, who's a friend of mine, who's worried about inflation. We also know that as our economy has come roaring back, we've seen some price increases. Some folks have raised worries that this could be a sign of persistent inflation. But that's not our view.
Making less than they did 2 years
Inflation,
ago.
you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would first say that one of the steps that we've taken as an administration is to provide a range of assistance to the American people, whether it is in the form of $1,400 checks. Caitlin, if you actually look at the numbers and the trends over the last several months, it shows that core inflation was not only below expectations, but it decelerated from last month.
You had told us at a town hall, I think it was in July, that this was just near-term inflation.
Number one thing that the president can do is help get COVID under control. That we know is the root cause of inflation and the price increases we're seeing for a range of reasons.
And finally, even as we meet to work out this challenge, it's important to maintain perspective.
Prices have gone up, and families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more. And we have to understand what that means. That's about the cost of living going up.
When people go to the grocery store and a pound of meat is more expensive than it should be, we agree. That's less related to supply chain issues.
The inflation has everything to do with the supply chain. Inflation is up. It's up. The second big reason for inflation is Vladimir Putin.
It's the second thing we wrote. It's the second thing we wrote. Out of all the things to write when starting a country, the second thing they wrote down is you better get a gun. The first thing they wrote down is you can say what you want, and then they were like, oh, but you better get a gun if you want to do that.
You're a cunt.
Issue that really grabbed me as urgent were issues related to population, reproductive health.
But did you come to reproductive issues as an intellectual?
When I was growing up, my parents were always involved in various volunteer things. My dad was head of Planned Parenthood, and it was very controversial to be involved.
Here it is, guys. You want to book a flight, go book it. It's going to show you how much carbon you're using, and now, this is the best part, it gives you an option to be a good global citizen and choose. It's a choice right now to pay the extra $5.44 for the carbon offset tax. Right now it's a choice. Gee, I wonder if pretty soon it's going to be mandatory. And then I wonder if it's going to go from something like $5 to $50, $100, $150. No, they would never do that. They love you.